And let's get started. Okay, so Andy Andrews, Mastering the 7 Decisions that Determine Personal Success. So this is a how-to book on his book, The Traveler's Gift. If you don't have a copy of this book, I would highly recommend that you get a copy of this book. However, read The Traveler's Gift before you read Mastering the 7 Decisions, please. All right. Constant detours do not bring a man into the presence of greatness. Constant detours do not bring us into the presence of greatness. Detours do not build muscle. Detours do not provide life lessons. Between you and anything significant will be giants in your path. And yet, you're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to hit ceilings of achievement. And that brings us to the E to P conversation, which is all of us start out working entrepreneurially, doing what comes natural, doing what is easy. And I hope you guys can see that. It looks like I've got a little bit of a glare. Let me see if I can change the color. That might help. We start out here in E, which is entrepreneurial, and we hit a ceiling. Now, in order to break through that ceiling, we have to become purposeful. And yet, I don't want to talk to you about E to P today from that perspective. I want to talk to you about what it feels like to be here hitting those ceilings, to hit roadblocks. When we're on a journey to achieve anything great in life. And what this creates when you consistently hit that ceiling is it creates frustration. It creates exhaustion. It creates resignation. And ultimately, it creates a mindset of I'm looking for greener pastures. In other words, detours. Don't like the journey that I'm on. I'm frustrated. I'm exhausted. This is as good as it gets, resignation, and let me go find someplace better. Let me look for greener pastures. Now, here's the problem with that. I'm going to read this to you again, and I want you to hear this from the E to P perspective when it comes to frustration, exhaustion, resignation, looking for greener pastures. Andy says, constant detours do not bring us into the presence of greatness. Looking for greener pastures do not bring us into the presence of greatness. Detours do not build muscle. Detours do not provide life's lessons. Between you and anything significant in life, there will be giants in your path. All right, there's 7 points that I'm going to share with you today. Number 2, and please write this down. It's why I'm repeating it. Success doesn't happen by accident. You must know what you want and what you're willing to give in order to get it. One of the reasons we quit is because we don't know what we want. If you're out knocking on doors, looking for sellers, looking for listings, and you don't have a powerful reason why, you're going to stop. You're going to quit. You're going to look for detours because it's not fun, especially in the middle of July in South Florida. And you must know what you want and what you're willing to give in order to get it. 2 things will be required. First, a decision, and second, a consistent action and follow through until you succeed. Two things will be required. First, a decision. In other words, you have to decide to do it. And secondly, consistent action and follow through. Consistent action and follow through. Consistent action and follow through. All right, the third point I want you to write down today is, what does follow through mean? It means continuous, tenacious action towards your goal. Follow through means continuous, tenacious action toward your goal. Intended, planned, and effective action. The next point I want you to write down is following through. Intending success means relentless commitment to achieving your outcome through drastic action. Follow through. Intending success means relentless commitment to achieving your outcomes through drastic action. Many people fall into the trap of deciding on a destination or goal without the commitment to follow through. The next point I want you to write down is massive, consistent action is what's needed to get you there. Massive, consistent action is what's needed to get you there. And then the last thing I want you to write down is there are a million stories of success, and they generally involve persistence. Unsuccessful people fail or quit. Successful people persist without exception. And the most important word in that sentence is without exception. It's the key to success. If anybody were to ask me, John, what's your secret to success? Well, first of all, I think that my first response would be, I'm not successful. Not yet. I'm on a path to become successful. But if I succeed at anything in life, it is for one reason and one reason only. I have deep within me the inability to quit or give up. It's one of the things that made my parents crazy when I was little, right? I was stubborn. I was challenging. I was rebellious. Tell me not to do something, and now I really want to do it. I mean, if you want to guarantee that I'm going to do something, and it's something you don't want me to do, tell me I can't do it. Now tell me I can do it and I'll lose interest. But tell me I can't, and I'm going to prove you wrong. I can't quit. I can't stop. Now, when I was younger, that got me in a lot of trouble, right? I was sharing with our executive leadership team this morning in our morning huddle that when I was younger, I was actually kicked out of 2 schools. You guys know that? I think you do, because I've shared it before. In the 7th grade, I sat in the principal's office, and the principal, Mr. Santos, I remember it like it was yesterday. Guys, think about that, okay? I'm 59 years old. I was in the 7th grade. So that was a long time ago, right, Nick? And I remember sitting in the principal's office, Orenthia, and the principal looking, and you're an educator, so you'll appreciate this, right? The principal looked at my parents. This is a long time ago. Nobody would do this today, okay? I promise you they're much better. The principal looked at my parents and said, he's either going to end up in jail or dead. He's never going to accomplish anything. No. The principal said that to my parents. I was sitting right there. I remember it like it was yesterday. Now, in the 8th grade, I proved them right. I got kicked out of another school, right? And then in the 9th grade, I get into a fight in the first week of school, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go again. And, I Without getting into my life story, I was an angry kid, and I was looking to take that anger out on anybody who crossed my path. Now, I'm going to tell you what saved my life. I was playing football, and I get called to the principal's office in the 9th grade. I have a fight. I'm going to fight, right? And Mr. Bow, I remember this like it was yesterday as well. His son, Mark, hi, Mark, and I are good friends today, right? Mark was on the football team too, stud football player. And I'm starting as a freshman in high school, so I'm pretty good because football gives me an outlet to take all that anger out legally on the football field, right? You get to hit people and it's okay. And I'm sitting in the principal's office and he says to me, and I'm thinking I'm getting kicked out of school again, Nick. I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. And the principal said to me, you're a really good football player. And I know because I'm talking to my son about you, how important you are to our team. And we can't afford to lose you. And I need you to make me a promise that you're never going to get in another fight. And that was the end of the conversation. I mean, I didn't get suspended. I didn't get expelled. I got a stern warning, and I never did get in trouble again. I ended up graduating high school with honors and went on to college and got A's and B's. And, you know, the rest is history. But if it wasn't for football, that 7th grade principal might have been right. Now, the fact that I can't quit, the fact that I won't back down got me in a lot of trouble, right? And as an adult, the fact that I can't quit, the fact that I won't back down has led to a lot of success. Right? Yeah. Persist without exception. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be tempted to quit. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be tempted to give up. Because remember, when you're hitting the ceiling, it leads to frustration. It leads to exhaustion. It leads to resignation. This is as good as it gets. It doesn't get any better than this. So I'm going to start looking for greener pastures, otherwise known as detours. I'm going to start looking for those detours. However, the challenge is constant detours do not bring a man into the presence of greatness. Detours do not build muscle. Detours do not provide life's lessons. Between you and anything significant will be giants in your path. Now, if all of you have goals, things you want to achieve in life, and real estate is the vehicle that's going to take you there, you're going to hit that ceiling. You already have. You're going to feel frustration. You already have. You're going to feel exhaustion. You're going to be tempted to feel resignation. This is as good as it gets. And you may start looking for greener pastures. Just remember that the path to greatness does not go through detours. So what do I want to hear? What do I want you to hear today? There we go. I want you to hear something simple and basic. The key to anything great in life is persistence without exception. It's persistence without exception. And remember, everybody persists. So if you're thinking, John, I persist, I don't get it. You know, I do. And what I would tell you, because I've seen this over and over again, I get it. You do. Until you don't. The difference between success and failure is the person who doesn't stop, who doesn't quit. who has deep within them the inability to quit or to back down. I'm going to knock on doors today until somebody says, I'm thinking of selling my home. I am on a personal mission to find someone who's thinking of selling their home. And the more people who say no, the more doors that get slammed in my face, the more determined I am to keep knocking on doors until somebody says yes. And at the end of the day, showed you. Now I can go home, wake up the next day, do it again. All right, talk to me, guys. What'd you hear?